Honorable viewers, today I am going to talk about a very important subject: vanishing sacred footprints, a heritage lost in silence. On 18th of April, every year, the world observes the World Heritage Day. On 18th of April of 2025, this year, we are going to observe the World Heritage Day under the theme Heritage under Threat from Disaster and Conflicts, Preparedness and Learning from 60 Years of ICOMOS Actions. Here, ICOMOS means International Council on Monuments and Sites. We are called not only to appreciate our monuments, but to question what happens when memory is intentionally erased. It has a very negative and bad effect on the mind of the people. The first loss is the loss of cultural heritage. Second is the loss of collective memories and identities. Third is sectarian and ethnic tension in society. Fourth is damage to education and research. Fifth is distortion of historical narratives. Seventh is economic impact. And the seventh is violation of international law. I will say there is a painful silence in the heart of Islam for the sacred cemeteries of Jannatul Baqi and Jannatul MOALLA, situated in the holy cities of Medina and Mecca, are among the oldest and most significant Islamic burial grounds. They were home to the graves of the Prophet's family, companions, wives, and descendants, from Hazrat Fatima Zahra to Imam Hassan, Imam Zainul Abidin, Imam Muhammad Baqir, Imam Jafar Sadiq, and other Sahabas, and from Amina bint Wahab, the Prophet's mother, to Hazrat Khadijatul Kubra, the Prophet's wife. But these resting places were demolished in 2024-25 by the authorities of the newly formed Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Mausoleums, domes, and tombs were razed to the ground, replaced by unmarked plots and empty earth. The British historian Barnaby Rogerson wrote in his book The Heirs of the Prophet Muhammad 2006 that you can travel from Medina to Mecca and see less of Islamic history than if you went to Cairo or Istanbul. Heritage destroyed not by nature but ideology. When Bamiyan Muddahs were destroyed by the Taliban in 2001, the world called it a cultural genocide. When Palmyra was bombed in Syria by ISIS, it was called a war crime against the heritage. Yet when sacred Islamic sites were systematically destroyed in the heartland of Islam, the world said little. As Saudi writer Dr. Ali Al Ahmad noted in Gulf Institute commentary on Wahhabism and heritage in 2010, the Wahhabi ideology does not believe in preserving heritage. It believes that reverence of graves is idolatry. The same ideology that led to these demolitions has also fueled the erasure of Sufi shrines, Ottoman architecture, and even the house of the Prophet's first wife, Hazrat Khadija, which was demolished to make space for public toilets and commercial expansion near Grand Mosque Mecca from 1980 to 2000. Where is UNESCO? Where is International Council on Monuments and Sites? World Heritage Day is backed by UNESCO and ICOMOS, both dedicated to preserving global heritage. These organizations have taken strong positions in other regions, but in Saudi Arabia, the Saudi heritage destruction, their lack of public condemnation has raised eyebrows. Even the then Prince Charles and now King Charles III of UK, a strong advocate for heritage conservation, once said in his speech on architecture and heritage in 1993, "If we destroy the past, we condemn the future." What should be our response on it? We must ask hard questions and propose clear solutions. Number one, documentation and digital reconstruction. We should use technologies like 3D laser scanning and artificial intelligence rendering to digitally preserve what has been lost, like the Institute for Digital Archaeology has done for Palmyra in Syria. Cultural dialogue. We should encourage open conversation within the Muslim world about sacred heritage and its rightful place. UNESCO listing efforts. We should advocate for inclusion of early Islamic sites on the UNESCO World Heritage List. Awareness and education. We should educate youth, scholars, and pilgrims on the spiritual and historical value of these sacred places. International advocacy. We should push heritage bodies and governments to issue resolutions against such demolitions. And in the last but the not least, we should try for restoration of the sites to its original shape. Why it matters? A nation that destroys its past has no future, has been said by Robert Penn Warren, a distinguished American poet and novelist. Cultural heritage is not just architecture, it's identity. It binds people together across generations and beliefs. The destruction of Jannatul Baqi is not just a religious site, it is a human loss just as significant as any loss in Syria, Iraq, or Notre Dame in France. Ladies and gentlemen, as we reflect on 60 years of the ICOMOS actions, let us also reflect on the silences and omissions. Let us remember that sacred heritage must not fall victim to ideology or development. Let us say clearly and respectfully, we remember, we honor, and we will preserve. And in the last, I will say, let us be that force of protection. Let us be the guardian of memory, and let us honor the footprints of faith that should never have been erased. Thank you. Bye.